1,
2,
3,
4.
5.
Umami. It is a funny word. Say it with me. Umami.
Umami.
Umami is a Japanese word meaning savory or meaty. It is the fifth taste. The other four are sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. Umami is what we crave when we give up meat from our diet. And the reason most people who transition to a vegetarian diet feel like something's missing if they're lacking that meaty flavor or texture. There are vegetarian foods that can help satisfy your umami cravings. For example, some of these vegetarian foods are aged cheese, like Parmesan. Tomatoes, which just fell from my garden. Carrots, lentils, cabbage, seeds, walnuts, even green tea, corn. There are many different umami replacements. As I'm learning more and more about nutrition, as I'm studying to become a registered dietitian, I have begun transitioning several plant-based options into my family's diet, successfully eliminating beef and pork, and reducing our consumption of poultry and fish. Some of these options are also complete proteins. The primary factors that most individuals need to take into consideration on whether or not they should eat meat are the clear physical and environmental health benefits associated with a vegetarian diet. Before we get into these benefits, I'd like to do a little myth busting about protein. As I stated, some proteins can be plant-based replacement options, like using beans and rice as a combination to make a complete protein. If you're eating enough variety of plant-based foods and the simple combinations like the example I gave of beans and rice, you don't have to feel or be deprived. You can get your protein requirements daily by making those simple transitions. One of the major reasons people become a vegetarian is because of the abundance of health benefits associated with the choice of taking on a plant-based diet. Such as disease prevention, increased longevity, and weight control. Not only can a plant-based diet prevent disease, it can also treat disease. In 2006, Diabetes Care conducted a 22-week study that found 43% of people were able to reduce their medications, like diabetic medication metformin, which I have eliminated from my regimen, my daily regimen, by just taking on a plant-based diet and getting rid of this from my daily activities. This can also be seen with something as serious as even cancer. The American Institute for Cancer Research estimates that the amount of cancer cases could be cut down by 30 to 40% just by eating a vegetarian diet. A diet like this doesn't just save lives, it also extends them. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found in a 2003 study that even semi-vegetarians, sometimes also known as flexitarians, live 3.6 years longer than non-vegetarians. So now while you're living a long disease-free life, you can feel comfortable in your skin while you're doing so. Vegetarianism is a great way to control your weight. In 2003, the International Journal of Obesity and Related Metabolic Disorders found that semi-vegetarians weigh less than meat eaters. Vegetarianism can be incredibly beneficial to your body through and through. However, vegetarianism isn't just good for our bodies, it's good for our planet as a whole. Another contention that many people take into consideration when choosing to take part in a vegetarianism diet is that it's better for our planet. It reduces our carbon footprint, it scales down on farmland, and diminishes factory farming and animal cruelty practices in mass meat production. Registered dietitian and author of the book, The Flexitarian Diet, Dawn Jackson Blattner, cites that the typical vegetarian diet emits 42% less harmful gas emissions than the average American diet. Mass-produced livestock literally tears our ozone layer to pieces. While animal food sources destroy our air, they destroy even more land. Marlo Vesterby and Kenneth S. Krupa wrote in Major Uses of Land in the United States, the 1997 Statistical Bulletin through the Department of Agriculture, that 80% of our agricultural land in the U.S. is used for animals and food for those animals. That's over half the total land mass of the continental United States. Even with all that land being taken up, our mass-produced livestock are still being kept in very, very small cages. Even if they could move around, they are drugged up with so many hormones and chemicals that their little tiny legs can't hold up their massive bodies. So they can't move around. They're physically unable to. In the documentary Food Inc., the corporation Tyson, which many of us find on our grocery stores and bring home daily, Tyson chicken was highlighted in that documentary for the unbelievable practices that they have their produce, their chickens go through. It's incredible. Just think for a moment, how can it be healthy for us to eat an animal that's flooded with so many chemicals? Think for a moment, would you be willing to take a heaping spoonful of those same chemicals and put into your body that we feed our animals, that we consume? One way or another, we're consuming these. We're eating the animals that eat these chemicals that we feed to them. So, you have to ask yourself, what is truly worth eating a meat-based diet? Clearly, our planet and our bodies would benefit immensely by switching to a plant-based diet. Becoming a vegetarian, or even a semi-vegetarian, the health benefits such as disease control and prevention, extended longevity, and weight control, as well as the benefits to our world, by reducing our carbon footprint, having less ravaged land, and fewer cruel actions to animals. A plant-based diet should bring all of these thoughts into consideration when we decide whether or not we're going to eat vegetarian or not. Remember that if you do decide to take on a plant-based diet and become a vegetarian, remember to satisfy those umami cravings. Even small changes over time will make a big difference in your health and in the health of our planet. A plant-based diet is key to good health and a quality of life for all of us here on Earth.